Hey guys, so this go round we're going to be starting off in Photoshop. So if you haven't already exported all three of your um, images as JPEGs, we're looking at like these three here. So if I were to find these in my pictures, I have them exported under my web page picture folder here under 1x, and so we've got these three, JPEGs here. We need all three of these. And we're going to essentially combine them together to sort of present them to someone and we're going to see if we can add a little flair to it as well, add a little kind of marketing to it here as well. So let's go over here. I'm going to show you a couple things here. I'm at a site wherein if you are a web developer for a company that is asking for you to build their website. One thing you can do, I think I showed you a little bit of that Joomla content management system, is that you could actually put together a website, and you can definitely design it from the ground up. Or an easier way of doing it is just to say, hey, for $60. We can get this template here, and this template's already made. It's got plenty of, functionality in terms of its slideshow, in terms of the buttons. It has little pop-ups for your gallery if you have pictures you want to show. It's got a fun little, gallery thing. It's got several different color choices. It's got lots of responsiveness. Really pretty. Video capabilities and stuff like that. So you can go on and you can find the things that are already made. So you on the designer end can obviously design, but this right here is just a method of so you design your own template, you create your own template, you shop it out here, right? You go to a website like Theme Forest or Joomla shop or whatever it is, or WordPress and stuff, and you let people know, hey, if you're a developer and you want to use this here template that I designed, you can do all this. And so you would obviously go into the code and you'd create the code and stuff like that, and they would install it to their website from the back end. But notice how they get presented with these things here. So this is this template right here, and they have this little thing here. So it's like, look at this. We have we've got a picture of a computer here, and then below there's a tablet, and there's another tablet down there, and it says we've got all these different designs we can use and stuff. And so obviously we're not designing a template, we're designing a website, and so we're just sort of selling it to our person here. But notice they all have the same kind of deal here. They've got like a tablet, they've got a computer, they've got a little phone there, and it's showing you how the various things are kind of arranged and stuff. So kind of take a look down here, same deal. In this case they have some sort of perspective on there, different little websites, different looks to it. And same thing here. We've got more of the same, right? So what I did is I went on Pixabay, and I want to say this is Unsplash right here, but I went on Pixabay and I found this picture here. Bring this up. This picture here should be on your D2L. So this is a real simple version. If you can find a better version of this, if you have a different version in mind, this is just like a vector art that someone made of a computer and iPhone and an iPad. We're going to use this in our next little Photoshop project here. So it's just going to be combining these and presenting these in a way that's going to allow the person to see what they're going to be looking at whenever they get this design here. So let's go ahead and create a new. We'll go ahead and just open this outright. So I'll just get on my pictures, I want to say, and I think it's under web page. There it is. All right, so I'm just going to go over here to my window and just sort of come back to the normal workspace that we had before. So as that loads. All right, I'll just go to window, workspace, essentials, reset essentials. So you have all that. All right, that's good. I'll take off this. No, thank you. I'll take this out. I'll take off my swatches as well. Close this whole tab group. All right, okay, cool. So I've got my layers and stuff, properties, various things. Okay, good. All right, so we have this here. I'm going to actually just unlock this from the background, and I'm just going to kind of draw this down a little bit to the side, holding down Shift so I keep the resolution right. And I'll just make a new layer here. Just going to fill it with white. All right. So Control Backspace fills with white, in case you forgot about Photoshop there. And let's just start off by tossing in our web pages here. So I'll start off with the desktop, since that'll be the easiest to fit in. So we just go grab the photo here. And what we'll do is we'll resize it to fit. It shouldn't go from side to side. It should be kind of fit right there in the middle. And you may have to get really close to sort of see where that's at. You know, obviously hold down Shift as you resize this and see if you can't get that kind of stuck in there. I might pull this in a little bit tighter so I can see a little more. I might just pull this in so I can see everything. Well, I'll just pull it out a little bit more. Yeah, I'll pull it like that. And so we can kind of like draw that into the center here. All right, that's good. So like that. Obviously, you can have to eyeball this a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll get our we'll get a mask here, and we'll see if we can't just fill that up with black. So make a little selection there with your marquee tool. Grab your paint bucket tool, G on the keyboard, and fill it up with black here. All right, let's actually do the opposite here. Control I, nope, Control Shift I, and then on the side there. All right, so that masks that off. All right, so that's what it looked like. What it's going to look like on the desktop there. Okay, very cool. If you want to make this wider, obviously you can. If you want to make it bigger, you can. If you want to just like say like this is what it's going to look like, you want to make sure that they can see what's going on. That's fine too. All right, as far as the so let's move on to the tablet here. All right, so I'll close this out for now. All right, Photoshop. Get my file out here, get my tablet, draw it in, just drop it on in, shrink it down some, probably good. You know, a little bit of space on the side, a little bit of a gutter, get a little closer here. All right, and the same deal as before, we'll make a mask down here where it says add layer mask, and then we'll select inside the boundaries of the here, and I might even get a little closer here. Actually, it's really good because I think this just runs right alongside of it. I don't think it actually interrupts anything here. Actually, no. I'll put a little. I'll add to the selection here. So if you just were to subtract from selection here with your marquee tool, and let me reduce the opacity for this just slightly. See what I'm doing here. All right, so onto the mask. I'll just sort of surround this guy where it comes like this. All right, that's good. So that way we have this little corner here. Control Shift I to invert it. Click on your mask, and then get your bucket tool, fill it with black. Control D. I'll bring the opacity back up to 100%. And then lastly, we'll do the same thing with our tool here, with our mobile site. Drag that in. And we'll pull it down here to the phone. Get it a little closer. You can see what I'm doing. And in this case, I may need to lower the opacity slightly. Now, the crazy thing about, obviously, with this is that as you scale it down, it's going to get a little bit shorter, so it's going to take a second for you to kind of get the bearings here. Let's down a little more. We can let that go from side to side. That's probably going to be okay. A little closer. Oh, right, okay, looks good. All right. Oops. I don't want to squish it. I don't want to warp it. All right, that's good. I'll just pull it down some. All right, great. Okay, cool. All right, very neat. Enter. All right, and then the same deal as before. We'll make a mask here, and then we'll draw out our interior of our screen. And we can right click on it and say transform selection and sort of drag that down some to where it fits that. Okay, good. And then once again, Control Shift I to invert it, G to get the fill. Once again, Control Shift I, G to get the fill, and fill with black. And we'll bring this back up to 100%. All right, good. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is we want to kind of like give the little flavor here, because what they have is they have this little sheen going across here, so we can mimic that same little sheen by getting up our pen tool here, and let's make a new layer on top of basically everything, and we'll just grab just kind of draw a little triangle here, and we don't really even need to worry about staying inside the lines because it's white on the background here. So hold down Control and move that up a little bit. Oops. Hold on Alt. Yeah, Alt. No. Control. All right, and then we'll just right click on that and say make selection, and we'll get our gradient tool here. So instead of our bucket tool, we'll get our gradient tool, and over here we can click on our gradient tool, and we can just basically go let's do this from like white to clear here. So oops, let's cancel this and just really quick come over this way. So I want to make sure I've got this foreground to transparent. So it goes from white to nothing, and we'll just select, just drag our gradient down like that, white to nothing, and then we'll lower the opacity a little bit here. And if I were to deselect this, you can kind of see what we're looking at here. So you can kind of see that it looks like there's a bit of a shine on the screen. And let's just, what we'll do is we'll just click our pen tool, and we'll just sort of, our select tool, V on the keyboard, Alt, and then we'll just drag it over a little bit. And we'll just resize it just to fit in here. In this case, we will want it to be kind of a part of the screen, so we won't want it to go past the lines and sort of mess with the other side with the other monitor there. All right, that's good. Let's actually go to our select tool here, marquee tool, and right click on that and free transform. Right click on it. Let's do distort, and let's see if we can't kind of drag up the corners some to match up where it's supposed to be. Kind of match up the little angle there. All right, and all right, close. All right, that looks okay. Obviously, the easiest way would be just to draw your shape the way it kind of goes here. So I could just do this number here, just click on that, and just continue on down to the bottom, like so. Click up, click once, and sort of drag it, and then click again here. And I can just get my Control button down there and just drag this down some to even that out. And once again, get my gradient tool and just fill that in. Oops. First off, once again, let's make this into a actual selection here. make selection. Okay, G. All right, that's cool, and it shouldn't interfere with the phone at all. But there you go. You have this little kind of flavor there. It looks like it's sort of bouncing, like the light's bouncing off the screen there. And we'll do the last one here with the phone. Once again, we'll just click, click once here, curve it around a little bit, and match it up. Right click, make selection, G on the keyboard, and boom. All right, Control 0. Okay, cool. All right, so we can kind of see that right there is looking like it's actually on a computer screen. Okay, so so this is like, so now here we so you are the web developer. This is not necessarily, you know, your business. This is someone else's business that, you know, you've invented. And essentially what you are going to do now is you're basically just going to show them like, hey, look at this, you know, website designs by whoever, right? So we can just make this into a little thing here. So let's go ahead and hit D on the keyboard to get black selected, and we'll just click over here and just say, let me go to my up here, and I'll just choose like 72 points for now. Web designs by Mr. Labello. Now I'm going to look at my layout I have here, and I'm going to name some of the features I've got. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my font. Now I just have Arista chosen. I kind of like that, and that seems like a nice little font for this. I'm going to just Alt drag this down here. So Alt drag it down, and then I'm going to just resize it some just to make it a bit smaller. And I'll pull this to the side. I'm just going to Alt drag it down again. Oops. Apply. All right, so Alt drag it down, and I'll just. I think I probably hit Control D on the keyboard. Nope, we can't. All right, I'll just do it again. Just Alt drag it. See if you can't keep it even. Hold down Shift while you do it. And I'm going to do like 5 here. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to name 5 features that your website, you know, has, right? So obviously the most important thing is going to be responsive web design. A little exclamation point there, so they know you're serious. You should be excited about this, all right? Say just to, in case they don't know what that means, you could say looks great on mobile, all right? And we could even like kind of move on here where it talks about like we can talk about the interactive slideshow we've got. Let's like here, okay, say. That interactive slide show. All right. And then we could even say, you know, customizable colors or something like that. I mean, obviously in this case, you're just gonna make stuff up. Oh, there's really a couple of things here. Customizable colors, and then even we could even put it in the very end of it all here. Say for instance, shopping cart, which is the word they use for a area where you're actually putting items in a virtual shopping cart. So that's the actual store. The shopping cart, you know, obviously we can't sell everything through Amazon, so some places have their own like website where they have their own sort of shopping cart, their own sort of shopping cart. PayPal, Samsung Pay, Apple Pay compatible. All right. Okay, right. Shopping cart, PayPal. So basically, you know, just trying to play up the features you got. Now, if you have something else in mind, then obviously you can put, you know, whatever you like in here. For my part, this is just, you know, some basics that people tend to be looking for when it comes to a website for their business. All right, so I'll make this a bit bigger here. Just pull this. And because we have this on a white background, we'll just keep it white. But we will, like, say for instance, add a little extra something to it. Let's just go down here to our pen tool, and we can maybe grab our pen tool here. If I can find it. P on the keyboard. Sorry. Here we go. All right, boom. Oh, yes, right, apply. All right, so I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm just going to click once up here. The hold down shift is click to the corner here. Click over here to the side. Hold down shift, and then I'm just going to click up here to sort of click this and sort of drag this down a little bit. I might zoom out some. I'll just right click on this, and I'll say make selection. All right. And I'm going to make a new layer here. I'll put this over here, and I'll just fill this, and I'm just going to grab the color that I had here. So I'm going to get my tool here, and I'll just click on this color here, and I'll just G on the keyboard, pick up the tool, and I'll just fill that right there. Let me zoom out some, make sure that it fits in. All right, so it's off the document now. That's okay. All right, Control D to deselect, and I'm just going to Alt drag this up a little bit, and then off the side back to where it was, and I'll just sort of maybe pull this up a little bit, and I'll darken this up some. Let me go to Image. All right, try here. Image adjustments. Nope, I have to the changes here. Image adjustments, hue, saturation. And I might just like kind of pull down the saturation a little bit and pull up the lightness a little bit here. And I'll press OK. And I'll just drag this down some. And then I'll grab another one here. Let's grab this. Oh yeah, once again, just Alt drag this a little bit, bring it back down some, and this time I'll stretch it out a little bit this way. Maybe make it a little bit shorter. All right, and we'll just go to once again Image. What changes here? So Image adjustments, hue, saturation, and I might brighten it up some. Lighten up some there, and we'll just drag that down one layer there. So we have this little kind of like accent here that we can kind of manipulate and stuff. All right, so obviously whatever you've got going on with, I'll just grab all three of these real quick and sort of like shrink this down slightly, maybe pull it in a little bit. All right, we could even like adjust the opacity slightly just to whee. All right, that's fine. Okay, so this looks like a nice little kind of like just a little accent to it. So it's not just like text and this little image here. All right, so go ahead and save this as a JPEG. So once again, file save it as a PSD file here. So I'll just say template or looks like website sale pick, and we'll just Control Shift S. And we'll save it as a JPEG here, and you'll submit this as a JPEG. All right, very cool. Cannot wait to see you guys produce. See you in class.